This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, chat, I need you guys' help today because for the first time in a long time, I'm usually pretty good at knowing what the big story of the game is. You can go with three different things here. It's the Mariners win their 10th in a row. Mm-hmm. It's Cal hitting 55 and 56, or it's Dom Canzone doing something that Cal Raleigh hasn't even done this year and hit 3 home runs in one game.
Crazy.
What do I do? Like, seriously, what do we lead off with? I'm actually asking. That is not a rhetorical question. Chris Crawford is with me. Anderson Hurst. Chris Crawford was about to talk. I interrupted him. We, of course, will start with the start. We will talk about how Cal is awesome, and I just am going to continue to not know what the words are to describe how special his season is. And the Mariners win their 10th in a row. It's pretty fun right now, and it's on the road. That is so huge, so good. And the kind of put the first nail in the coffin of the Royals kind of being one of those teams that's kind of challenging you for that playoff spot. But Chris Crawford, what's your story today? Seriously.
I personally think the story's pretty obvious. Like, as much as of a prisoner of a moment as I could be with 3 homers, what Cal is doing is just, it's so cool. But yeah, what means the most is that the Mariners have won 10 straight games, and the Mariners get a good start to, again, a road trip that I believe is the most important in franchise history. And, you know, I will point out that the Mariners have had good starts to road trips before and finished in less than spectacular fashion. So I don't want to get too crazy here, but you want to talk about passing the eye test, folks. Almost everything was good today. And the thing that was bad today is only used because of how good everything else was today. Yeah. Right? Like, the only reason you're seeing those guys who are not all that great pitch in that late inning situation is because you build a touchdown lead. In fact, you had a touchdown and a field goal lead at one point. This was awesome stuff. I thought that Logan Gilbert pitched solidly. We'll talk about it. I thought that the offense was an absolute wagon for the overwhelming majority of the game. And you just do enough to hang on. And you more than hang on, guys. You win by 7 runs. It's so funny. I did see some folks talking about, hang on, I'm nervous. Even if Jock Caglione, or Vinny Pasquantino would have hit that home run off Gabe Spire, you'd still be winning by 2 runs. You built a significant lead here. Maybe I'm just cool and confident. That's what I'm well known for, is being cool and confident during Seattle baseball games. Yeah. Really good win. Really good win. Wish you could have gotten some help from some other teams, but everything's in front of you. Everything is what you control. And if you play like this, it doesn't mean a damn thing what those other teams do.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I feel so good about the position the Mariners are in right now. Mm-hmm. This is about as little of scoreboard watching in the last 4 years that I've done at this point in the season, because it's completely up to us. And I say us, the Mariners. It's completely up to the Mariners. I'm not on the team. But it feels weird to me because they can easily just control their own destiny, win the AL West. And honestly, the 2 seed and the first round bye is in play at this point. So that's something that I'm going to be watching for as well. Maybe that's the only kind of little thing I'm going to be scoreboard watching for. But man, 10 in a row for your Seattle Mariners. And it started early. Randy gets hit by the pitch. Cal ropes a single down the right field line. Or sorry, was it a double, actually?
It was a double.
Yeah, you're right. And then Julio just absolutely destroys a ground ball like he always does. But it's in a good spot, good enough to score both the runs, get him to second, and it's 2-0 before the Royals recording out. But I kind of teased it a little bit. We'll get back to that in a second. We always start with the start. Logan Gilbert tonight. Very Logan Gilbert 2025-y, where he's honestly dominant for the entire game, but somehow doesn't get through 6. I don't know how that works, but I think it was more just Dan Wilson kind of being like, hey, we have at that time, I think it was like a 7-run lead or something, or 8-run lead. So let's get you rested up, make sure you're good to go. Cause I think he only had like 84, 85 pitches at that point. So what do you think of Logan Gilbert? How did it look tonight?
So there have been a lot of starts this year where I thought Logan Gilbert's line wasn't as good as he pitched. I think tonight was actually the opposite. And, that's not an insult to Gilbert. Like, he pitched well. He pitched solidly. 5 2/3 innings of 2-run baseball on the road against a lineup that can do some damage. A guy who would be an MVP candidate in a lot of years, and Bobby Witt Jr., a lot of people think that Bobby Witt Jr.'s 2024 should win the NL MVP in 2025, which is pretty funny.
I'd argue that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's been, that 2024 was so good. He's such a good player. By the way, real quick, I love Roberto Clemente night. I love Jackie Robinson night. If you don't know the other team's rosters very well, it can get really confusing.
Very confusing.
Bobby Witt Jr. being number 21. I could have sworn he had a different number than that. And then I was like, oh, right. It's a night honoring one of the most important players in the sport of baseball. But I thought Gilbert was solid, and I thought he battled. The biggest inning to me was giving up no runs in, I believe, the third inning where they have to come first and third, nobody out, or excuse me, first and third, one out. But he gets that massive strikeout of Carter Jensen, who was terrific tonight, by the way. That guy's going to be a good player. I thought he battled, and a lot. Again, I've mentioned this a few times. Sometimes you say battled, and it's kind of an insult. Now tonight it was encouraging. It was encouraging that he was able to get through those games. He probably deserved to get 6, but I don't blame Dan Wilson for saying we're up by a lot. Let's go and get the relief help in. And in a way, he only deserved to give up that 1 run, right? Because Carlos Vargas leaves a pitch way too much of the plate, and they get that run. Long story short, Logan Gilbert was solid tonight.
Yep, completely agree. It's a very, like I said, it's a very 2025 Logan Gilbert start to me, where he looks really, really good. Maybe not ace-like, just completely I kind of going into this year had expected that he was going to be, but that's fine. You still get the job done. Your offense is good enough. The bullpen was mostly good today. Besides a couple hiccups here and there. We can get to that in a little bit, but I like Logan Gilbert where he's at right now. I think if this was a playoff game today, or it wasn't as much of a blowout as it was, I think Dan leaves him in for sure.
Absolutely.
And he gets to the 6, possibly even more, just because it's all just depending on who gives you the best chance to win, and more often than not, it's going to be Logan Gilbert staying in that game.
And real quick, the other thing is you're not bringing in Vargas in a playoff game there. You're going to a Bizardo. You're going to probably one of the more high leverage guys just to make sure you get through that inning. I love how Dan managed the bullpen today. I thought Caleb Ferguson has looked really good as of late. That's been really encouraging to see. Luke Jackson and Emerson Hancock, they're auditioning to be that 13th guy on the staff. Right now, advantage Hancock because of the fact that he can give you multiple innings and because he's pitched better. I also like that he went to Spire to just get through that inning, to say, hey, the other thing is because Kansas City's so right-handed heavy, you may not need to use Gabe Spire as much in this series or Caleb Ferguson.
Good point.
So why not use them in the blowout? Because you want them fresh for that series against the Astros for sure. Really solid job of managing the bullpen, I thought, from Dan Wilson tonight.
Yep. He's had a couple really good games in a row. What do you think? Ferguson, just quick couple thoughts on him. I think he's had 3 really, really good outings in a row.
Yeah, the breaking ball has been so much better. You're seeing that depth that made him such a solid option for Pittsburgh this year, and also at times dominant for the Dodgers earlier in his career as well. His command of that breaking ball is so important because he doesn't have that elite fastball. It is more of a set up the breaking ball type of pitch. Yep. I love what I'm seeing from Caleb Ferguson right now. I have a ton of confidence in him based on what I've seen over these last 2 or 3 appearances.
I completely agree. Let's give some love to our sponsors. Then we'll talk about some sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, I don't think that one's going to work, or I don't think that one's going to work. But there's just so many products out there. It's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's totally deserved on their part. That many people would not be buying it and using it and having positive reviews of it if it wasn't a good product. Now, I mentioned it multiple times. I'll say it again for those of you who are new to me saying this ad. I'm a big believer in, just the hair part of the identity. Like I'm a former soccer player. It's very, very important to me. You see those guys go ham on what they do with the top of their head. So it's really, really important to me. When I get to that point, I am definitely going to be looking at Nutrafol because it's going to be something that I hope to keep for a long time. But hey, such is life. Sometimes it doesn't go that way. Nutrafol is an excellent product to get that hair back on your head. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Locked On MLB.
This episode is brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Oh boy, is it going to be tough in a couple of weeks here.
Oh yeah.
News, login screen, surprise fees, takes all the fun out of it. And that's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, it's easy, and it's backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. There's going to be a lot of people trying to scam you with playoff stuff, folks. There's going to be a lot of too good to be true type of things. But Gametime's the one that's actually good and true. You know you're getting your guaranteed ticket. You know that the seat you buy is going to be the one that you see. Check out the zone deals because it gives you that idea of what that experience is going to be like. If you've been to a game and you sit in a couple of sections and they've won there and you feel good about that superstition, nothing wrong with that. Make sure you use Gametime to make sure you're sitting where you need to sit. And if you download the Gametime app and you create an account, then use code LOCKEDONMLB, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, that's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today.
The NFL season's here, and FanDuel's making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use it across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting. Whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup, I like to do that, even though my fantasy team sucks. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays because, God, I need it right now with my fantasy team just pooping the bed. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
You pick up Jake Browning yet?
No. Welcome back to the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Hurst, Christopher Crawford with you. I have the other former UW quarterback on my roster, so I will be doing that instead. We'll see how that plays out.
Energy, we love it.
This is Locked On Mariners, not Locked On Seahawks. We will be talking about that upcoming soon. But, Chris Crawford, what is your thoughts on just the offense today? I mean, let's start with the lead. As you said it, I'm letting you do it. I mean, not letting you do it. I'm just letting you choose the direction we go in terms of the biggest story tonight. And it's Cal Raleigh with his.
Oh my God. And I'm just going to say it right now. And it took me a little bit longer to get here. And I've been back and forth on this. Cal Raleigh's the MVP of the American League and he's not going to win it. And that sucks that he's not going to win it, but Cal Raleigh absolutely deserves to be the MVP of the American League. Guys, I want you to picture a 28 homer season. Okay. 28 homer season from a really good catcher.
Okay.
Really good. Think about how much that value that adds. Okay. Now freaking double it. Double it.
Yeah.
He is the best player in the American League. And that is no slight to Aaron Judge, who is one of the best offensive players I have ever seen in my entire freaking life. But context matters. Context absolutely matters. The Seattle Mariners are nowhere close to where they are without Cal Raleigh. They're just not. And I don't care what the New York Yankees are with Aaron Judge or not, because Aaron Judge is not a catcher who hit 56 homers. He's not. He's a right fielder who's having a fantastic season. but Cal Raleigh is the most valuable player. And there can be times where the most valuable player isn't just the guy who carries you to the postseason. You know what I mean? Like, there are times where a team that doesn't make the postseason, Mike Trout should have won a couple more MVPs. Sure. Cal Raleigh deserves that Miguel Cabrera treatment. Cal Raleigh deserves to be the American League most valuable player. And it sucks that it's not going to happen. It's not. But boy, if any of you BBWAA guys are watching right now, I am pleading with you to reconsider.
Yeah, I think there's still a chance. I'm not saying it will. I think there's still a chance, especially if the Mariners win the division, and even more so if they get that second seed. I think there's going to be this, and to what you said, I think
like
Aaron Judge is the best. What?
Like a swell of support, that type of thing?
Yeah, and like what I said on the Softy and Dick show today on KJR is the Mariners will basically be one of, if not the biggest story in the American League in baseball.
Yeah.
And they will look to that and be like, oh, what's the reason they're at that position? And it's Cal Raleigh, right? Yeah. Aaron Judge is the best player in the American League. And I even think that's the case this year. Cal Raleigh's having the best season in the American League.
I think that's fair. And here's what I will say too. If Cal gets to 60, I think he's going to win it.
Yeah.
That's what my ultimate thing here is. Yeah. And I thought Goldsmith did a really good job explaining it as well, that like some of this is going to depend on how Judge finishes the year, of course.
Yeah.
And then some of it's going to just matter on how much you value defense, because the thing is, Aaron Judge isn't helping him defensively at all right now.
And Cinnabon points it out, best hitter, it's maybe not best player.
Yeah. And again, Aaron Judge is a freaking demon of a baseball player and is probably going to end his career with 4 or 5 MVPs, right? Yeah. One of them's probably going to be this year. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But what a season from Big Dumper. And the big thing for me too is he's starting to drive that baseball again, on top of taking those really good at bats, on top of drawing those walks. And I'm so glad he didn't force things. You know what I mean? Because a big reason why the Seattle Mariners had their big winning streak was Big Dumper was getting on base at an elite clip.
Yep.
Speaking of elite clips, Julio Rodriguez once again was fantastic tonight. That big two-run double to just set everything up. Polanco, the double streak ends, but he gets another couple of hits. We will just ignore for tonight the defensive miscues.
We don't have a ton of time, so I kind of want to just quickly get in. Oh, yeah.
Don't get zone. 3 homers. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me that we're talking about this at the 18-minute mark? This is really fun. And the offense was fantastic tonight. Just real quick, I felt bad for Michael Wacha. A guy who had just come off the concussion injured list to pitch like that is not a hell of a lot of fun. Still took advantage of it, and he still looked great.
Yeah, there's a real reality that Julio Rodriguez ends the season with a higher OPS than Eugenio Suarez, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is really weird to me. But I think that's both things can be true, right? Where it's like Julio's playing really, really well, and obviously Eugenio is slumping. Yeah. We won't talk about that now. There's not enough time. I hope he turns it around. That's all I'll say. You need him to. But Julio officially over 800 OPS now, which I think it's a mark for him, for me at least. When I see someone with that 800, it's like, oh, you're a really good hitter, right? Yeah. Anyone in the 700s, even upper 700s, like, yeah, you're good, but are you really that like next level? 800 takes it to the next level for me. So that's a huge thing for him. I totally agree with you on Canzone. It's just a debate right now because him and Jorge Polanco are both like mashing the baseball. And I'm not taking Victor Robles out of the lineup. I'm just not. He's too good in right field, and it's hard, more than positive with the bat.
Yeah.
So I just can't take him out. So honestly, it's kind of one or the other at this point, unless you want to play Polanco at second base. I still like Rivas too. You can't go wrong with any of those 4.
It's great to have a real bench. Here. And, Ty and Colby, I hope they talk more about this, and I'm sure they will. Just like, because the Mariners are going to the postseason. The Mariners are going to play playoff games. I don't know what you do with the bottom of the roster. It's going to be really interesting to see who those final pitchers are, who those final hitters are. But like, it's hard to justify taking any of those guys. You can't take Polanco out of the lineup, obviously. He's playing every day. There's no doubt about that. But how do you justify sitting Rivas right now, who's been so good defensively and with the bat? How do you justify sitting Canzone when he's doing something like that? How do you justify taking Robles defense out of the lineup?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful problem to have.
Really good problem. Justin, hi. I'm assuming hi from Kansas City because yikes. You guys probably aren't going to the playoffs. I don't feel bad for you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I really don't feel bad for you. So Justin, appreciate you hopping in as always. Appreciate you being a part of the postcast here, giving us the numbers, no matter how it comes. I don't care. I really don't. Anderson Hurts, Chris Crawford with you. Let's look ahead to tomorrow. I believe we have, is it Bryce Miller on the mound tomorrow? I believe.
Yes. I should remember this.
I'm looking right now.
It's a pitcher, and he's right-handed, and he may have a mustache, and he may not. It's
Bryce Miller, Cole Reagans.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Cole Reagans is tough. I mean, that is a very, very good pitcher. But by the way, I'm watching Colt Emerson hit a home run right now. Maybe Colt Emerson gets that final run.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, right? But
great to see him in AAA. But yeah, that's it's a big game. It's a big, big game to guarantee that series win.
And this is the big thing for me. Last time we had this 9+ game winning streak now at the beginning of August, I was disappointed when it stopped and everyone was like, yeah, you're not going to win every game. I want to extend those really good stretches as long as possible. You got to keep this going. Give yourself as much room for error at the end of the season as you possibly can, because it's already going to be like none, no matter what.
Right.
So as much as you can give yourself the distance, just in case something for whatever reason would go wrong in Houston. By the way, quick score update from Houston, Texas. It is now 6-5.
Come on,
Houston
Rangers.
Over Texas. We want
Come on, Rangers.
We want Texas to win this game for sure. So we'll check in with you guys on that. Be sure to check out Ty and Colby. They'll have kind of a bigger picture episode tomorrow. Really appreciate that. They've done a really good job of putting into perspective who we're rooting for in terms of scoreboard watching. As someone who really doesn't know who I want to win, that's who I kind of lean on. They're the guys that kind of do that job. I just react to the Mariners game right afterwards with my buddy Chris Crawford. And we appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out with us today. Please like the video if you haven't already. Really appreciate it. You can catch any part of today's episode anywhere you get your podcasts, or watch it again on YouTube if you like our glorious faces. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Another 4:40 first pitch tomorrow. So we'll be with you right after that one. Go Mariners. Keep it rolling. 10 in a row. Let's make it 11 tomorrow. Last word, Chris Crawford.
Love you, Big Dumper.